Last season, Chelsea's biggest weakness was their attack. They finished with the fewest goals in the top 5, but now Maresca has rebuilt, and the front line isn't just better, it's scary. So who are the players behind this transformation, and can Chelsea finally win the league with this attack? Chelsea's 2024-25 season was a roller coaster, and the warning signs were there from day one. In their very first game, Maresca came out in his press conference frustrated, repeating the same line fans would hear all season.
For a large part of the game, we were at the same level or even better. We created chances, they were much more clinical than us.
Against Crystal Palace, 5 big chances created, 4 missed. Nottingham Forest, 3 created, 3 missed. Everton, 3 created, 3 missed. Bournemouth, 5 created, 4 missed. Brentford, 3 created, 3 missed. Ipswich, 4 created, 4 missed. It was the same story every time. And here's the painful truth. In all those games, if Chelsea had taken just one of those big chances, that's 3 points instead of 1. And that's the difference between being a title contender and just fighting for top 4. Early in the season, Chelsea's attack was at least fun to watch. Goals were flying in, Palmer was scoring for fun, but Maresca wasn't happy. He didn't like the chaos. Chelsea would score 6 but concede 2, score 4 but concede 2. In his words, the team was still playing Pochettino football instead of his. And when they finally adapted to his style, the goals dried up. Palmer's numbers dipped. The football got slow, predictable, even boring. Fans booed, but then came a turning point away to Fulham. From that match, Chelsea won 14 of their next 16, keeping 8 clean sheets, including against PSG in the Club World Cup final. The stability was finally there, and with it came the perfect platform for Maresca to rebuild the attack, starting with a striker. For Nicholas Jackson, the 2024-25 season was a story of 2 halves. The first 16 games, electric, 9 goals, 3 assists, and finally, after his rocky debut season, Chelsea fans thought they had their man. He was on course for 20 Premier League goals, scoring not just against weaker sides, but even at Anfield against Liverpool. Some dared to whisper the name the next Didier Drogba, but not everyone was convinced. Former Chelsea midfielder John Obi Mikel kept saying Jackson wasn't good enough to lead the line, and he didn't keep it private. Fans accused him of pushing for his fellow Nigerian, Victor Osimhen. Jackson even fired back. But as the season wore on, Mikel's doubts started looking justified. In his final 25 league games, Jackson managed just 2 goals and 2 assists. Injuries took him out for 5 matches, a red card for 2 more. Maresca defended him in press conferences, but actions speak louder than words. Before the Club World Cup, Chelsea didn't just sign 1 striker, they signed 2. And when it mattered most, it was João Pedro who delivered. 2 goals in the semi-final, 1 more in the final, and 2 in preseason. 5 goals in 5 games. Pedro's versatility is priceless. He can play up top as a second striker or in the number 10 role. He drops deep, links play, creates chances, and brings that Brazilian flair in tight spaces. Plus, he's deadly from the penalty spot. And with a clinical striker finally in place, Maresca turned to the next piece of his new look attack, a left winger. Last season, Chelsea didn't have a true left wing specialist. Maresca experimented. Nkunku started there, then Modric, then João Felix, then Pedro Neto. Eventually, just before the window closed, he brought in Jadon Sancho on loan. Sancho fit Maresca's blueprint for the role, a dribbler who could take on defenders, hug the touchline to stretch the backline, create central space for runners, and deliver quality balls into the box. He became the regular choice. But while his play was tidy, the numbers weren't eye-catching. 3 goals and 5 assists in 30 Premier League appearances. When a permanent deal fell through, Sancho returned to Manchester United. At the Club World Cup, Pedro Neto took over on the left, and he shone, finishing joint top scorer alongside Palmer and João Pedro. But even then, Maresca didn't see him as the perfect profile for the position. That's when Chelsea made their move for Jamie Bino Gittins. The 20-year-old arrived with all the traits Maresca wanted. A natural left winger, comfortable cutting inside onto his stronger right foot, blessed with explosive acceleration and agility, and fearless in 1v1s. In preseason, he's already shown glimpses of his creativity. Bino Gittins brings something Chelsea haven't had in years, a left winger who can beat his man, create danger out of nothing, and still link fluidly with the attack. But the left flank is only half the story. On the opposite side, Chelsea's right wing is home to one of the Premier League's deadliest weapons. wins. Last season, Noni Madueke owned Chelsea's right flank. He fit Maresca's profile perfectly, fearless in 1v1s, quick off the mark, sharp changes of direction, able to cut inside or go wide and whip in a cross. Compared to the left side, he was one of Chelsea's main attacking threats. But while his play was exciting, the numbers told a different story. 7 goals and 4 assists in 32 matches, with nearly half of those goals coming in a single hat trick against Wolves. When Arsenal came in with a bid that meant a £20 million profit, Chelsea cashed in. Why? Because Maresca already knew who was coming. In the summer of 2024, Chelsea had signed Brazilian wonder kid Estevão Willian, Messinho, and were just waiting for him to turn 18. The wait was worth it. At Palmeiras, Estevão didn't just impress, he dominated. Player of the season, breakthrough player, youngest ever to win the main award, second in assists in the league, third in the top scorer chart, and a record-breaking number of goal contributions for anyone under 18. He even faced Chelsea in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup quarterfinals and scored the equalizer against them. Now at Chelsea, he's already made his mark in preseason, a debut goal against Leverkusen and a penalty won in his second game. An elite dribbler with Neymar-like creativity, explosive acceleration, and a deadly finish, Estevão isn't here to just hug the touchline. He's here to run the attack. And at the heart of it all is the man who ties every piece together, Chelsea's central link. Cole Palmer is, without question, one of the most dangerous players in the Premier League, maybe the most dangerous. In his debut season at Chelsea, his first full senior campaign, he led the league in goal contributions. Last season, which some critics unfairly called a flop, only Mohamed Salah, in a record-breaking year in Premier League history, had more. That's the level Palmer operates at. Still, the transition to Maresca's system wasn't smooth for the team, and naturally, Palmer's numbers dipped. But even in a side still learning how to play, his influence was undeniable. He dragged Chelsea back from the brink in the Conference League final, sealing the trophy almost single-handedly. And when the lights were brightest, in the Club World Cup final against PSG, Palmer was ruthless. 2 goals and an assist in a dominant win. If Maresca truly wants to lift the Premier League trophy, one thing is non-negotiable. Palmer must play closer to goal. He is Chelsea's most lethal finisher, and now, with João Pedro leading the line, he finally has a striker who can bury the chances Palmer creates. We've already seen glimpses of their partnership. The 3rd goal against PSG came directly from their link-up. Add in the dynamism of Jamie Bino Gittins on the left and the flair of Estevão on the right, and Palmer no longer carries the attack alone. In fact, with the right support behind him, his numbers could explode, and that's where Maresca's creative engine comes into play. Enzo Fernandez has been at the heart of Chelsea's rebuild from the very beginning, and his journey perfectly mirrors the club's rise. He arrived in January 2023, fresh off winning the World Cup with Argentina, when every elite club in Europe wanted him. Instead, he chose a Chelsea side sitting in 10th, and by the end of that season, they had slumped to 12th. Now he's not just a mainstay, he's a world champion with Chelsea and the club's vice-captain. If trust the process needed a face, it's his. But his early Chelsea career was rocky. Without a clear team identity, Enzo bounced between roles as a 6, an 8, even a 10. Coaches knew he was talented, but no one nailed down where he truly thrived. Critics pounced. He doesn't score. He's not quick. He's not a defensive destroyer. So what does he do? Last season, under Enzo Maresca, those questions vanished. Fernandez's role evolved into the heartbeat of the side. No longer just recycling possession, but splitting defenses with through balls, pinging diagonal switches to the flanks, and making late, well-timed runs into the box. The result? 9 goals and 17 assists in all competitions, more assists than Palmer, and double his combined goal contributions from all previous Chelsea seasons. And now, with elite runners like João Pedro, Jamie Bino Gittins, and Estevão ahead of him, his passing range is a weapon of mass destruction. Of course, no title-chasing side survives on its stars alone, and Chelsea's depth could be their hidden ace. If there's one position where Chelsea have turned last season's weakness into a fortress, it's the striker role. When Chelsea brought in Liam Delap for the Club World Cup, he wasted no time making an impression, grabbing an assist on debut, then scoring in his second start against ES Tunis. Since João Pedro's arrival, Delap has mostly been used off the bench, but whenever he's stepped on the pitch, his sharpness is clear. In the Club World Cup final, he forced Donnarumma into a world-class save, and it's not just down the middle. Pedro Neto, a star in the Club World Cup, has played on either wing and delivered every time. With Estevão being eased into the side, Neto could even start the season as Chelsea's first-choice right winger. On the left, there's no natural right-footed deputy for Gittins yet. Chelsea are close to securing Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United, a Premier League proven talent with a goal of the season already to his name. In the central role, the club is in talks for Xavi Simons, while Enzo Fernandez's backup, Andre Santos, arrives off a stellar season at Strasbourg, scoring 11 goals and providing 6 assists from deep midfield. This isn't just depth, it's firepower in reserve. So, what do you think? Is Chelsea's attack capable of winning the league?